KK, hey y'all, we back. Whoever want to hit the panel, just hit the stream. It is open panel, open discussion, whatever y'all want to talk about. Y'all make sure that y'all leave a like on Suave last stream and hit the like button on y'all way in. Hey. I don't know. I think the first thing I want to talk about will probably be this just lame Maxwell situation. I'm gonna see if I can find another article about the whole situation or whatever. As of right now, since she's been found guilty. Ooh, I done found some. I done found some. Hey, Melinda. Hey, love. How you doing? For those that missed it, I was saying, make sure y'all leave a like on the last stream. Suave did. Hit the like button on y'all way in. I already posted the link in the chat. So the link is there for anybody who want to come up. I think the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the Jelaine Maxwell situation. Um, I did find a couple of videos about it, so let me click on Let me see this one first. Let me see if this is an article or this is a video. Okay, so this one is an article, and it was posted 6 minutes ago. So I'm gonna share my screen. Ooh! I don't want to do that. Accidentally hit invite. I don't want to invite. But I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna read this article first. I'm gonna give me another monitor just to be able to share screen better. Okay. So, New York Times reported this December 29th today, 2021. Okay, it says Epstein accusers say Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction provides a measure of justice. Miss Maxwell vowed to appeal after a jury found her guilty of sex trafficking and conspiracy on Wednesday afternoon in federal court in Manhattan. So this is a picture of her and Epstein or whatever, looking very cuddly, very cuddle buddy like. Okay. So after more than 5 days of jury deliberations, Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted on 5 of the 6 counts she faced. Ghislaine Maxwell, the former companion to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, was convicted on Wednesday of conspiring with him for at least a decade to recruit, groom, and sexually abuse underage girls. A federal jury in Manhattan found Miss Maxwell, 60, the daughter of a British media mogul, guilty of sex trafficking and four of the five other charges against her. She was acquitted of 1 count of enticing a minor to travel across state lines to engage in a illegal sex act. Probably because, they didn't state up front that it was going to be a sex act. That's probably why she was acquitted of that charge. So, but we're saying where I leave off at. Maxwell's trial was widely seen as the courtroom reckoning that Mr. Epstein never had. Mr. Epstein, who was arrested in July of 2019 at the age of 66, drilled himself in a jail cell the following month. The medical examiner ruled while awaiting his own trial on the sex trafficking charges. Miss Maxwell was arrested a year later. The verdict came in the afternoon of the jury's fifth full day of deliberations. After the jury sent a note saying it had reached its decision, Miss Maxwell, wearing dark clothes and a dark color mask. Okay, she was preparing for her funeral. Now, Shanara, you're not supposed to be on here. You're not supposed to be on here, sir. Go away. But But yeah, she was preparing for her own funeral, wearing dark clothes and a dark color mask. Okay, miss. She was ushered into the courtroom and sat at the corner of the defense table. She poured water from a plastic bottle into a paper cup and took a sip. Okay, bougie. The jurors filed into the courtroom at 5:04 p.m. and Judge Allison J. Nathan read the verdict aloud. Guilty on 5 of 6 counts. Miss Maxwell sat still through the reading of the verdict. She then touched her face and poured water into a cup and drank. She leaned over to speak with one of her lawyers, who patted her on the back. Okay, seem a little. I don't know. To me, it seemed a little shady. Okay, I see you, sis. Hold on, let me give me 2 seconds. I'ma fix it. Okay, I'm back. This better for y'all. Now the sound was off. I had put myself on mute. Okay, so where was I? Y'all better stop that damn fight. Don't even start it. Thank you. Uh, okay, so the lawyer patted her on the back. After the jurors filed out of the courtroom, Miss Maxwell stood, cast a brief glance in the direction of her siblings, 2 sisters and a brother, who were seated in the first row of the spectator gallery, and was escorted quickly out of the courtroom without speaking to her lawyers. Um, Miss Maxwell's conviction closed another chapter in the saga of the Mr. Epstein, whose lurid exploits dealings with the criminal justice system and cast of famous friends made him, and by extension, Miss Maxwell, the subject of intense public scrutiny for years. Yeah, Melanated, I think it's supposed to be a debate tonight, I think. Or no, an interview. Just me. She has an interview tonight. That's what it is. Okay, in her trial, the government called 4 accusers, 2 used synonyms and one only used a partial name, who testified that they had been served up to Mr. Epstein to be sexually abused. Miss Maxwell was presented for some of the abuse according to the testimony and played a role in enticing and grooming some of the victims. Damian Williams, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, said in a statement Wednesday night, "The road to justice has been far too long, but today justice has been done. I want to commend the bravery of the girls, now grown women, who stepped out of the shadows and into the courtroom." One of Miss Maxwell's lawyers, Bobby C. Sternheim, said outside the courthouse, "We firmly believe in Jelane's innocence. Obviously, we are very disappointed with the verdict. We have already started working on the appeal, and we are confident that she will be vindicated." Well, if y'all already been working on the appeal, then y'all knew she was going to be found guilty. Miss Maxwell's siblings left the courthouse in Lower Manhattan without speaking to the gathered crowds and cameras outside. Judge Nathan did not set a date for Miss Maxwell to be sentenced. On the most serious of the accounts for which she was convicted, trafficking of minors, she could face up to 40 years in prison. Another count carries a potential 10-year sentence, and the three others, all conspiracy counts, carry sentences up to 5 years. So, when you add all that up, if she served them consecutively, that's like 70 years in prison. However, they may say, what's the other word? Not consecutively, but the other C word for she'll only serve like 40 years, and that'll be like, all of her time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But Miss Maxwell faces a separate trial in the same court on 2 counts of perjury stemming from a 2016 disposition she gave in a lawsuit related to Mr. Epstein. Miss Maxwell's trial, once expected to last up to 6 weeks, moved quickly as the government paired its witness list and presented a case over 10 days that centered on the 4 accusers. 2 of the women testified that Mr. Epstein started engaging in acts with them when they were only 14. One said Miss Maxwell sometimes present in the encounters, and others said Miss Maxwell had actually touched her directly by, I went over that last time. Let's see. 2 accusers depicted Miss Maxwell, a former socialite, as a kind of mentor and big sister, a picture of elegance and sophistication. One recalled who took them shopping and to the movies, and what prosecutors said was a ploy to build trust. Then she played a key role in normalizing the sexualized massages with Mr. Epstein that in some cases led to years of SA. Quit goddamn hissing. Leave him alone. He not bothering you. Miss Maxwell was a sophisticated predator who knew exactly what she was doing, the prosecutor Allison Moe told the jury in closing arguments last week. She manipulated her victims and groomed them for SA. The verdict was largely a rejection of Miss Maxwell's defense, which centered on the argument that the government's case was based on flimsy evidence. Prosecutors, I know this word, but it's like close to animosity towards Mr. Epstein and the inconsistent accounts of women who were motivated by money to point the finger at Miss Maxwell. What money, though? Like, where are they getting the money from? Throughout the trial, Miss Maxwell's lawyers sought to raise doubts about the testimony of her accusers, emphasized the distance between her and Mr. Epstein, and criticized how the investigation was conducted. Girl, distance don't mean nothing, because when you got money, you're willing to travel. Okay. The government wants you to speculate over and over, a lawyer for Miss Maxwell, Laura Menninger, told the jury during closing arguments last week. She said Miss Maxwell was on trial because of her relationship with Epstein. Maybe that was the biggest mistake of her life, but it's not a crime, she said. Epstein's name resurfaced repeatedly during Maxwell's trial, and her lawyers spent much of their time trying to distance her from the man who was once also her boyfriend. Now, these dick thirsty women doing anything to please their man. Maxwell ain't nothing but a mammy. That's what it is. She ain't nothing but a mammy. And look what being a mammy gets you. Miss Maxwell's accusers included the 2 women who testified under the pseudonyms Jane, an opera actress, and Kate, a British model. Actress and singer from a wealthy family. A third accuser, Carolyn, used only her first name. She described herself as a middle school dropout who had become addicted to drugs and was SA'd by her grandfather at the age of 4. Damn, that's fucking crazy. She been through a lot. The 4th accuser, Annie Farmer, who has a PhD in educational psychology and works as an educational therapist, testified under her true name. Now, this is the lady that we read about last time I did a stream about the case. Okay. If the accusers seemed to have contrasting backgrounds, the accounts they gave of how they were enticed into Epstein's world shared a common thread: Maxwell. Jane testified how Maxwell, a tall, thin woman with a cute little Yorkie, strode up to her, followed by Epstein as she sat with friends at the age of 14 eating ice cream at a summer arts camp in Michigan. That chance meeting led to an invitation to Epstein's house in Palm Beach, Florida, and what prosecutors said was years of SA. Carolyn testified that she was also 14. A friend of her boyfriend's asked her if she wanted to make money by giving massages to a man who turned out to be Epstein. So they had, other 14-year-olds recruiting more 14-year-olds. Sick. But Maxwell met her and the friend at the door of Epstein's Palm Beach house. Carolyn told the jury that in the years that followed, she visited the house 2 or 3 times a week to perform these nasty massages and appointments arranged by Maxwell, whom she always saw when she entered the house through the kitchen door. Carolyn's experience formed the basis of the weightiest count on which Miss Maxwell was convicted: sex trafficking of a minor. The jury had to find that Maxwell recruited Carolyn to engage in these acts with Epstein and encourage her to recruit other girls, and the girls received money or gifts in exchange. Carolyn testified. 2 other prosecution witnesses, Larry Valsky and David Rogers, former pilots who had flown Epstein's planes, both testified that Maxwell had unique authority among his employees. She was his quote-unquote number 2. Each man told the jury, so they both said this. This case about Maxwell, the crime she committed, another prosecutor, Mari Comey, said in a government rebuttal, it's about the children that she targeted, the steps that she took to serve those children up to be abused. It's about her own participation in that abuse. Miss Farmer, one of the accusers who testified against Maxwell, said in a statement that she was relieved and grateful that the jury recognized the pattern of predatory behavior that Maxwell engaged in for years and found her guilty of these crimes. She has caused hurt to many more women than a few of us who had the chance to testify in the courtroom, Ms. Farmer said. Maxwell chose not to testify, but her lawyers sought to undermine the government's portrayal of their client, sharply cross-examining their I lost my place because I looked. Okay, cross-examining the accusers to raise questions about the reliability of their testimony and offering witnesses who worked for Mr. Epstein and said they had not seen any kind of SA that was described at the trial. The defense also presented an expert who testified about the fallibility of memory, basically saying that your memories may not be what you think they are or whatever, that you might be remembering something wrong. But Maxwell's lawyers, who once said they would need 2 weeks to present her case, rested their case after only 2 days. So how you say you need 2 weeks, but you only rested after 2 days? Obviously, you ain't had that much evidence. After unsuccessfully arguing for more time to summon additional witnesses, you should have had that before, because you talking about some 2 weeks, but you rested your case. During the 5 days of deliberation, jurors sent notes seeking transcripts of testimony from more than a dozen witnesses, clarification on the law, and office supplies. As the week wore on with no verdict in sight, the Omicron cases spread across the city. Judge Nathan raised concern that an infection might cause a mistrial. She told jurors on Tuesday that they might have to deliberate through the New Year's holiday weekend. On Wednesday afternoon, the jurors asked for a transcript of Mr. Vikowski's testimony. That's one of the pilots. 2.5 hours later, they had a verdict. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end. Yeah, it is. It's just really talking about, her case and all that shit. So, her sentencing date has not been set, so we don't know when exactly she gonna get this sentence. for these crimes that she committed, but hopefully she'll get it pretty soon because she need to be in jail. Like it is what it is. You attacking children and you brainwashing children into attacking other children and bringing other children to come to you to attack them. And this is what I be talking about when we talk about situations like this. Like when I was arguing with whoever it was, some dude talking about, child prostitution among black girls and stuff. Okay, but you got a grown ass man making other kids go get kids. And he was all like, well, how he made them. Now, when we look at Maxwell's case or whatever, we will acknowledge, or they will acknowledge that she was forcing other girls to go recruit other girls. But when it comes to black folks in the community, they won't acknowledge that. So that's what you know. Hell yeah, sis Zeke. Because like he said, if they would have waited too long, it could have been grounds for a mistrial. But yeah, concurrently, thank you, sis. Concurrently, yeah, they might get her to serve her time concurrently instead of consecutively, and that'll have her out in 40 years, 40 or really like 50 years. Or shit, they might just get her house arrest. The fuck. Why they playing? Why we playing? They might just get her ass house arrest, like for real. But I don't know. They probably gonna sentence her, under the hush hush. Ain't nobody gonna know about it. And then, with 6 months from now, we're gonna be like, whatever happened to that situation? And then somebody gonna look it up, and they're gonna be like, damn, they just gave her house arrest. Yep, sis Zika. R. Kelly did do the same thing. Not only did he have girls recruiting other girls, but he had people in his team, like a Jelaine Maxwell, that was helping him recruit girls, going to the mall for him and going to go get these girls, going to the high school, going to get these girls. So, I mean, all them folks need to be prosecuted the same way R. Kelly was. All of them. Yep, sis, they might kill her in jail too. That might get her ass while she in jail, like they did what's his face? Because for one, how he, often get himself, right? And he was on 24 hour, he was on watch. So obviously, it was something fishy going on. Because it was said, other inmates said that there was noise coming from his cell, but the guard ain't go inside and all this other stuff. So obviously it's some other like yelling, like when you because they found him hanged. When you hang yourself, it ain't no yelling going around. The chair might fall over, but that's about it. It ain't no yelling going on. So obviously, something happened to old boy, or they took him out of there and took him across the way to Cuba or something. Well, since I'm doing a stream, I might as well go over some of these articles that I got in my what's your face in my email. Unless y'all got it, or y'all can put it in the comment section. Um, some y'all might want to hear about or whatever. Let's see. How long is this? Okay. I might read this because it's not that long. But this font is small. Let me see. Can I zoom in? Oh, yeah, I can. Good. Because I ain't got my glasses on. You know when you wear your lashes, girl, you can't put on no glasses. I ain't putting on no glasses with these lashes. Let me share my screen now since I got it up. Yeah, Akila, we back. You know, he asked me to do a stream. You know, I just had to go make my hookah real fast, you know? Okay. Triple oppression and racism. So this little article or episode, I'm not going to do the whole thing simply because I'm using this for my debate with Madon. But I have no idea what time the interview is, sis. But so this is about, so when they say triple oppression, we are talking about, well, let me scroll to the top so y'all can see the actual title. So African American women, racism, and triple oppression. So this is about all of the things that we as Black women have to face when it comes to this society. When it's saying triple oppression, you know, we got sexism, racism, and then the oppression that the Black man puts onto the Black woman. So let's get into it. Triple oppression and racism. A prolific writer, Afro-American writer, Walker. Yeah, think they talk. Who are they talking about? Because I know I seen her name earlier. It might be. Is it C.J. Madam Walker? I don't think so. Because didn't she do her? Alice Walker. That's what we're talking about. Alice Walker. So when we say Walker, we're talking about Miss Alice Walker. Ooh, I done went too far. It's the work cited. Okay, here we go. Alice Walker closely examines the ways in which the world around Black women has deeply affected their physical and emotional being. Her major concern in her writing is about white and Black men's oppression upon Black women and their attempt to resist it in a society governed by racism, sexism, and patriarchy. She addresses the very difficult and unspoken issues of Black women, their strength, experiences, and womanhood. She urges her women to break the silence. African American women have been made victim of racial discrimination by the white community and sexual repression by Black males of their own community. They have been made both prey of racism and sexism. It is a common experience of Black women in America. Afro-American women Afro-American women do have their own particular world and experiences, unlike any Black white or Black men and white women. Roby Ward and Diane Price Herndale also remarked, Black women are doubly marginalized. They have to fight not only against the white patriarchy and white women's racism, but also against the sexism of Black men within their own race. So to be Black and female is to suffer from the twin disadvantages of racial discrimination and gender bias. Being Black, the African women suffer from racism. Being females, they are victim of sexual atrocities at the hands of the white patriarchs as well as the Black male. Being former slaves, Black people were forced to live on scarce resources and are compelled to remain poor. Needless to say, Black women are under financial scarcity within the Black community due to gender difference. They are confined to the lowest paying jobs and make less than half of what white women made. They are positioned within structures of power to fundamentally different ways than white women. In other words, the Black women in America are made victims of triple jeopardy: racism, sexism, and classism. This triple burden has restricted Black women from being full human beings to render meaningful participation in society. Suffering at the hands of both Black and white men, the American Black women have to fight for their survival both inside and outside their houses. Alice Walker sees American Black women carrying triple consciousness and deals with this theme in her fiction works. Through her female characters in the novel, she stresses on the fact since Black women suffers double or even triple repression, they do have hidden potentiality to regain their lost selfhood and subjectivity and rightful place in their racist and sexist society. So anybody want to push back on it? Anybody want to come up here and ask questions about it? Y'all can go ahead and hit the link. It's in the comment section. I'll post it again. Good evening, Queen Cascade. If you free, can you come get on the panel with me, ma'am? Thank you. Yep, Spinny Sparks, you're right. Black men are especially more disrespectful to black women supervisors. Yes, they are. They don't believe that, we should be supervising, managing, or anything. I mean, shit, they don't even, most of them don't even believe we should be speaking, as we can see just from being, within uh this debate league. A lot of these guys have an issue with women talking. Like, prime example, the last stream I did that one night, I wasn't even trying to be on the stream for real. I took my little black ass to sleep, and motherfuckers was just mad because it was just me. Like, motherfuckers came in the chat mad. And yes, I am smoking hookah glitches. Yep. I always gotta have that hookah. Thank you, Queen. Thank you for joining. I'll give you a little brief breakdown of what I'm talking about when you get up here. Oh my god. What do you want, T-Duck?
Nothing you say. You wanted some pushback. You know the pushback king.
What do you want?
Just a discussion. I
Say
don't
what
want
you want to
nothing.
say.
Oh, I just feel as though like when it comes to that assessment, I mean it's not accounting the fact that men have issues with women as far as not being able to, you know what I'm saying, properly please them in a way that they're happy. So we have our issues with women as much as women have issues with us. I
Okay.
think
But we're not
I
talking about
think
pleasing. We're talking about oppression.
right. And I feel as though the oppression came from the white people. It didn't say that oppression came from black men.
Yes, it did.
Uh,
Yes, it did. It said that the oppression came from white men, white women, and black men. It said black men have been oppressing black women and have repressed them sexually and repressed them in other ways. As I said, I'm only gonna read like this, and I'm gonna read the conclusion in a minute. But the rest of this text I'm using for my debate. So with Madon, so we just gonna go over it a little bit. And I want to welcome Queen Cascade to the panel. Queen Cascade, I was just reading a part of an article about the triple oppression that black women face. It was just saying that we face racism, we face sexism, and we also face oppression from black men within the community.
Hey, good evening, all. Hey, mean fella. Well, go on, Mr. Crispy Duck. Um, hey, chat, everybody. Yeah, in regards to the oppression when it's directly aimed, I'm assuming the subject topic is to do with black women specifically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, over the last how many years, and even in terms of the research that I've done and conducted here and there over the years, um, it's been a case that when black women fought for feminism or fought against oppression, it was always taken over by other cultures and then pushing it to the forefront. But our needs weren't our needs weren't included in that. And even when it comes to the history of whether it's slavery or the Arab slave trade or other things that have happened within history, within our culture, a lot of the time we've been treated less than second-class citizens. And the fact that we've entered into slavery at different points, or even down to, I think there was one, I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was a princess that was kidnapped from a tribe that had been destroyed by a neighboring tribe. and she was given as a gift to, I think it was one of the queens here in England. So our rights have never really been, what's the word I'm looking at? Taken into real consideration about what our needs are. A lot of the time, Black men have been put to the forefront within our culture. And I don't think they really understand the necessity for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, T Duck.
I was just like, we got to conceptualize the unit rather than this black man and black woman thing. That's a single person's perspective. When you
No,
have
it's not.
couples,
Actually,
you
it's
have a
collective
unit.
perspective. And in order to tackle the issues of the unit, we have to stop the oppression that Black men are perpetuating against Black women.
But that doesn't happen in units where
But
you
it
have
does.
family and you
I mean,
have
but it
people
does though.
working
If you have
together.
all these
Yes,
people,
it does, Tida, because of the fact that domestic violence and other things within our culture exist.
Yeah, they exist,
That
and
is a form of
it's a
oppression.
class
That is a
issue.
form of
not
discrimination and
it's,
prejudice within the family
domestic abuse is
relationship.
not a class issue, bro.
I would like to believe so,
It's
because,
not
You
though.
like I
would
say,
like
You
to
in
have
my
believe
because you
so.
have
conceptual,
Black judges out here killing their wives.
The fact is, T-Duck, what you believe and what is statistically fact and what are the truths of the collective are different to your beliefs. And
but
this is a part of the problem because your belief is in what you want to believe is real instead of what Black women are telling you in our experiences. You sit
no,
in a chat and talk about victimhood in regards to white supremacy and everything else, but then when Black women explain their experiences within their family circumstances that seems anecdotal but makes up the collective experience, then you want to say we're victims when the fact is we're survivors.
okay. I don't. I think you didn't understand what I was saying. I'm saying that your experience is your experience. The experience of others and my experience is that it's a class issue because when you look at the upper class and the middle class, people who have flourish in the public sector, you don't see these issues as prominently as you see people on government assistance and poverty. So it is a class issue because
But it's
some
not
people
though,
know how to
because you do
conduct
understand the
themselves.
majority of Black women are not on government assistance. The majority of
No,
people
it's
on
not
government.
about the black woman having government assistance. Men have government assistance as well. It's a simple case of having morals, principles, and people who have those things tend don't to do things onto others because they believe in the golden rule. So you have a class of people that understand how to be respectful towards whether it be man, woman, vice versa, and the children. So when I talk about these units, I'm talking about people with principles who are part of organizations that deal on principles, who have a religious aspect to them, that don't just go around hurting people because they
I
hurt.
mean, the people who have a religious aspect to them be the main ones that's going around hurting people. The same ones you
Exactly.
see at church on Sunday be the main ones that's doing this type shit.
So where's the morals, integrity, and class within the Black collective?
And that's what I'm
And I'm
saying.
talking
It's in
about
the upper
I'm not talking
echelon.
about class in terms of working class, middle class, um, wealthy. I'm talking about in terms of manners and respect and moral integrity within the
But
collective.
behavior comes with class. So if you want to see higher standards and people that act respectable,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't have to, their life doesn't depend on paycheck to paycheck, or they're always in this strife type of life and not caring about things, they actually have stuff to lose. These are the people you tend to see not perform these acts that you get from these generalizations or statistics you call well, we understand not to be fact, but generalizations,
But they
and
are fact
they.
though.
No, they are
How
facts.
can it be
It's a
fact if you're taking a
generalization to
sample
you,
size
but
and
it
not
is
the
a
Okay,
fact.
totality?
okay, but when you do your debates, when you have your points, you also use statistics. So are your statistics that you use also not fact?
Correct. Statistics are generalizations. They take a sample size, nowhere near the
Okay, but they take
proximity of the
multiple sample
totality.
sizes, bro. They take multiple sample sizes. So if they're seeing that in almost every sample size that they do, that this is a outlying issue among all of these different sample sizes, then it must be the majority.
And that's what you're failing to understand within your belief.
But they don't take the sample size from the well-to-do. They go to these
But they do
criminal.
though. They do take their sample size from the well-to-do, and they also take their sample size from poor and middle class, whether it be lower middle class or upper middle class. So these sample sizes are on all the class levels.
As well
Right.
as you have censuses that do for the population. So again, you're undermining. You're here. I don't seem to think you understand, T Dot, that in the way you're coming across at the moment is continuing to prove the fact that in your assessment and your comprehension of these situations that are taking place, that you still are basing it on belief instead of understanding what the collective need is.
Oh, the collective need is morals, understanding, and some type of principles. But what I'm basing it on is I have frat brothers, and I've been in these neighborhoods where they could leave their door unlocked. I don't see this
That's your
high rate of
frat
crime.
brothers
I
in
see
their
them.
neighborhoods, their respective neighborhoods. That doesn't make up, that's the minority. That doesn't make up the majority, Tito.
But
You
neither does
understand
the
the difference between
criminality.
the
Neither
minority and
does.
the majority?
But neither does the people that's being accosted make up the majority as well. So what I'm saying is that it's not all ground, and to take a survivor's type of mentality about the totality of blackness is a simple miscalculation
No,
because
to you it's a miscalculation, but from someone looking from an international perspective of not just America, Europe, United Kingdom, Africa, the Caribbean, and other countries within this world,
mhm.
that is showing up the same things that are not just a microcosm if it's happening worldwide.
Right.
Yeah, it's the lack of principles and virtues. Those things aren't taught
Okay,
in the
but
hoods.
if it's a collective, bro, who lack the virtues, the principle, and the morals, then it's a problem with the collective. And until you address that problem with the collective, come up with a plan and fix the problem, then there is no way that black men and black women can fully come together to build on anything. There's no way you can tackle unity or the unit issue without addressing the fact that the collective of black men perpetuate violence, perpetuate assault on children and grown women, perpetuate this all of these things towards black women. Until you address that, there's no way that anything as a unit could be fixed or talked about.
So,
Dinar ain't a river in Egypt. Until you admit there's a problem, you can't fix the problem. You're not willing to admit that we as a collective have a problem with black men because you're within the collective of black men. And whether you like it or not, you're a part of the dustiness of these black men
once
because you
again,
contribute to it.
And then on
once
top
So
of that,
again,
until you
I
see
have
that
you have
there's a
all these.
problem with your behavior, your morality, because of the reflection in others that you see, then there's nothing more for us to talk about, Tito.
but that makes no
Exactly. And then
sense
on
because
top
I'm
of that,
doing
we
my
have
part.
all these articles from spanning from the 1920s all the way to 2021. And yet you're saying that all this evidence, all these studies, all these samples are incorrect. Why do we have decades worth of the same issue?
Because people not getting their stuff together, and us brothers that actually have families, who actually have daughters, who have mothers, cousins, are like we
All y'all
protect
got
and
mothers and
provide for
sisters.
them. So it's null
Well,
and void to the
providing
whole
for them is not
notion.
enough because their
You
experience
can't
don't
say
make up
what
the
is and
collective
what's not enough.
experience. Yes,
You
I
don't
can say
know
it's
to
not
what
enough. Do
capacity
you know
people
why I
are
can
able to
say it's
do.
not enough? Because of what's going on in our communities, because of what's going on with the collective experience. Your mother, your sisters, your aunts, your daughters are still a part of the collective experience. And eventually, when they reach a certain age, they will fall into the brackets of where it is to be, what is it, 1 in 3 women that will be attacked, SA'd, raped, killed, murdered. If we're at the fact of, women dying we're at the point of black women in America dying every 5.5 hours. T-Duck. That's
Right.
the
And you know
reality.
who's not
That
on those
is the
statistics? The
reality.
women in my
That
life.
is the reality. And the way things are going, yeah, if you guys as a collective don't do something about that, then somebody that you surely know, although you're not seeing it in certain areas from where you are as a man with your frat brothers who are not women, who do not make up the collective experience, which you try to undermine, then unfortunately someone that you know that you care about will become a statistic.
But they won't, and that's the issue. That is not our
But they
problem.
will though,
Okay.
because
They
black
don't.
men. But they will though, because black men love to quote the Monahan report. But the Monahan report says that black men will fall into the same type of bad behavior after just one generation, even if they're separated from the hoods.
Yeah, that's like I said, we do our part. Like you
No, you
said,
don't do
the
your
women
part.
in our families
As a
are part of
collective,
the
in
collective.
your
But y'all don't
individual
though, because if
family,
y'all
you
was
may
doing
do
their
So
your
part,
part.
the
But
sisters wouldn't
in
be
terms of the
the lengths
collective
that they are.
community experience, you don't do your parts. This is why the community is the state that it is. Pedophiles, arists, rapists, women being murdered every 5.5 hours. That is the reality. That is the reality. That
that
comes
sounds like a
down
job
from
for the
the
police. That
symptoms
sounds like a
of
job
the
for the
oppression
FBI.
that the collective of
Wow,
men
so
have
now it's a job for
created.
the police. Now it's a job for the FBI. But
Mhm.
you were just up here talking about how black men and women need to come together to fix the community. So that must be a job for the police too.
No, I
It
said
gotta be, because this is right here
we
is a
need
job
to
for,
take
no,
care
what
of the
we're talking about
people.
right now is a job for the community and for black men to fix. But you're trying to put it off onto the police and to the FBI. And I could have sworn that y'all don't trust the white man, right? So you asking the white man to come and fix your problems, to come swoop in and save you and protect the community, a community that you are supposed to protecting.
Once again, I protect my community. I
Obviously
take
you
care of my
don't, because
household.
you won't
I
admit that
take care
there's
of
a
my
problem.
family members. I'm doing what I am able to do. The
Obviously
women
you're
in my
not,
life are
but you're not
secure.
though. But you're not though, because even when you come in the comment section, even when you come on the panel, you
Mhm.
perpetuate this same creepiness that majority of black women say they face at the hands of black men. So you are a part of the problem. Just because you like to hide it and be like, no, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, you're not.
Exactly.
You can say what you want about the antics I do on the chat, but in all seriousness, I'm one of the key examples of black power and
But
getting
you're not
everything
though.
Well, if
together.
you're
But
a
you're
key
not though.
example of black power, then you're a key example of how expendable you are.
Absolutely. I was guaranteed death at birth. Absolutely.
Good.
So
And
stay in your
I will
victimhood,
carry
stay on
my
the
sword.
SSS defeatism and victimhood,
I
and do us a favor and exit stage left,
and
because
I
you continue in your rhetoric, you continue in your behavior to disrespect black women, to leave them unprotected, to hound black women in a way that's not acceptable because of your entitlement,
how
thinking
am
that
I
it's
doing
okay
that?
to want to have entitlement over women's dating choices, over women's wombs, over women's behavior. You
I've never done
exemplify it.
that.
You
There's no
exemplify
merit
it.
in that.
You exemplify
You're
it.
projecting. I
No,
No,
don't do
you
that.
not though.
I
Because
take care of the
that's what
women
you
in
do,
my home.
T-Duck. No, that's what you do, T-Duck, because that's the main reason why you steady get kicked off the damn panel. That's the main reason why folks be blocking you in the goddamn comment section.
Because y'all one-sided and I want to play devil's advocate.
You want to play the devil's advocate for what?
Because controversy
Devil's
gets
advocate for
views.
murderers,
Like, come on
terrorists,
now.
and rapists.
See, this
and
is the thing.
pedos.
You're not doing things for the right reason. Hear your comprehension and your perception of what you're doing. You would rather cause controversy with the women that are around you and objectify them, sexualize them, berate them to
I
get
do not
views.
sexualize none of you women.
To
Cut
get
that out.
But you
views.
do
That's
though.
how
But you
you.
do
That's
though.
what you just said. That's what you just said. You don't even comprehend what you've just said.
I just said that I plays devil's advocate. I didn't say I sexualize y'all.
I'm telling you your behavior and how you come across and the way that you objectify women within the chat that is perpetuating the cycle with your little hounds, with your little hyenas that need to follow behind you. And that's the example you set.
Right, because wasn't you just the one who kept calling me a hoe and a pass around? And not one, but 3 different streams?
No, I didn't.
Oh, but you did though. I can go back in the stream and I can go screenshot it because you did. And I addressed your comment though. Because you were the one.
And you know what? It wouldn't even surprise me if it wasn't there, because I've had my own experiences with T-Duck and his little crew, and they go back and they delete the comments. So it looks like you're arguing against some phantom and that you're bullying them so that they can claim victimhood.
Really, Queen
Your games
Cascade?
don't work
I'm.
around
That's
me.
me.
Yes.
Have I ever played victim?
Yes, you have.
Yes, you do.
All the fucking time.
Wow.
Every time I pop off on you for saying some dumb shit, you want to play victim and you want to be like, oh, I'm innocent when you're not.
No, it's not that. It's just how you.
But it is that.
Me.
That's
like,
exactly what it is.
The
Because
fact
it
is,
is.
T-Duck, you
should
make a
always be
choice.
there.
You make a choice
You
when
don't
you
give
come up
respect,
here
so why should I
to
give
play the devil's advocate
initiative?
about a serious topic where we're trying to disseminate information and cause controversy? Do you not know the definitions of what it is that you're talking about?
If it makes you uncomfortable, I will.
No, us black women speaking our truth is making you uncomfortable. That's
Why
what
would you
told
speaking
me
your
Not
truth
even
make
that.
me
I know
uncomfortable?
myself
That's your
personally.
problem. That's
No,
not
T
my
Duck. I know
problem.
myself personally have told you to stop doing certain things, have told you that you're being a creep, yet you continue to do it. So even if you talk
No,
about
I cut out the creepy stuff. It's just more
no,
so
you
y'all talk shit
didn't
to me. I
though.
talk shit
No,
back.
you didn't though. You didn't. And that's the whole problem. You sitting here talking about some, well, if you tell me you're uncomfortable, I'll stop. But I know for myself personally, I have told you several times.
And I had to come into the chat.
What have I done?
Tell
creepy?
you to back off. If a woman tells you once is more than enough. It shouldn't take any more than that for a woman to turn around and say, no, leave me alone.
No woman
but
has
you want to
said.
cause controversy and troll and berate black women for your own self-esteem.
What does berate mean?
Go look it up in the dictionary.
See, I asked you for help, and
Crispy
look how you
Duck,
act.
I don't listen. I don't owe you shit.
I didn't say you did.
I
was
don't
just
owe you anything. If you want to know what the dictionary definition is as a debater, as somebody that claims to be knowledgeable in his beliefs,
why are you condescending?
You
no,
go and look it up in the dictionary. How hard is that?
But why be condescending?
How hard is
I
that?
thought we were
You're
making
not
a
going to
breakthrough.
do it. You're still not listening. You're
I'm
still
listening
not
very
listening.
well. I'm very
Go
attentive.
search for it yourself, Tida.
Okay,
I am not your
I
mother.
can't do it right
I'm
now.
not
but
your wife. I'm
I
not
get
here to.
you, my sister, ain't you?
You. No, I'm not your sister. I don't
What?
consider me
No,
to be
we're not your sister.
You know I'm black, right?
We don't give a fuck. You're not our
And-
brother. We have told you that multiple fucking times.
And I don't consider people who are dusties and behave degenerate and disrespect black women and do the things that you do to be my brother.
But I protect the women that's around me.
You don't protect me, Tida.
I said
you
the
don't.
women around me.
You don't protect black women in this chat.
If
and then
you
the
were
other night
around
when
me, you would.
when
We don't
Yandy
want to be
was
around
on
your
here,
creepy
you're
ass.
here spearheading and saying, get an Andy, get an Andy, get an Andy.
When did I say that? That was a hound session.
Okay, Tita. Okay. Keep doing what makes you feel better about
It's
yourself.
not about what makes
And
me feel better. It's
understand that
just understanding. We
black
have to
women
practice
are
power.
telling you this is unacceptable. If
So
that's
I'm
the
not
kind
gonna
of
do it no
behavior,
more.
excuse me?
You said it's unacceptable, so I'm not gonna do it no more.
Okay, but we have already told you on multiple occasions that it wasn't acceptable, and you continue to do it. So,
No. The
what
only
does
thing
your
that's
word
been
mean at this point? It doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
because what's been happening recently is women been talking crazy to me and I
But no, I
snapped
wasn't
back.
even talking
So
to you,
that's
and
it.
you proceed. I wasn't even talking to you, and you called me a hoe and a pass around. So what's your grounds for that then?
No, you had to have said something.
No, I didn't say. I wasn't even talking to you because I was on a panel. You wasn't even on the panel. You was in the fucking comment section, and I was not fucking talking to you.
Moonflower, don't feel the need, sweetheart, to explain yourself to
I
this
know, but
woman
I'm
to
just
the
saying. He's
point.
saying the only reason why he say things is because the women done said something to him. But it's been a multiple occasions where he said something to me, and I wasn't even talking to him. Didn't even address him. Didn't even say his name. So I want to know what's your excuse for that?
I don't make excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence made to build mountains of nothingness. Those who accept them are doomed to fail. Those who I forgot how it go. But yeah,
Right.
excuses, and excuses are a tool of incompetence. Those who use them suddenly succeed. Yeah, those who use them, those who accept them, are doomed to fail. Yeah, I mean, whatever the case may be, like I said, it had to be something, and maybe you wasn't directing something towards me, and I took it as you was talking to me. But in all
And
case, I'm not there
well, you know, a hit dog
today.
will
So
holler. A hit dog will holler. Now be quiet, T Duck, because we're gonna read this. So this here, let me go back to the top so I can read the dang on title. We don't love these hoes exploring misogynoir and black male patriarchy through sexual double standards. So this is what this article is about. We're gonna go over a few things, and we're gonna read a little bit of it, but not the whole thing. But as I said earlier, I will be using this for my debate against Madonna. So I'm not gonna go through all of this in depth, but I will, if after the debate, I will go through this all the way. If anybody wants me to, it is a 64-page article, so I would have to do my own stream about it. But here we go. Introduction. Okay. Black women often go overlooked and understudied in many facets of research. The unique experience of being both Black and woman presents a variety of issues that Black women are subjugated to on a daily basis, both outside of and within the Black community. These issues stem from ideologies such as misogynoir being the sexism against Black women specifically, controlling images of Black womanhood, and the intersections of identities that Black women hold. While much research has been dedicated to exploring how Black people as a collective respond to racism or how white women respond to sexism, little empirical research has been found regarding the experiences of being both Black and woman. In addition, studies concerning the state of inequality that Black women face within the Black community as a result of internalized misogynoir, black male patriarchy, and toxic masculinity have been researched in a mostly theoretical lens. Blair 2014, Collins 2000, Collins 2005, Collins 2015, Hooks 2004, Macias 2015, Sims 2001. Theoretical perspectives of Black feminist thought, intersectionality, and grounded theory are critical to the study of Black women's lived experiences. The intersections of Black women's race and gender create social implications regarding how others interact with them and how they perceive themselves. Here's the definition for misogynoir before I keep reading. It says anti-Black misogyny. This term will be defined more extensively in subsequent sections of the paper. With this thesis, I will discuss the ways in which racism and sexism combine to form a specific sexual criteria known as controlling images that Black women are held to both implicitly and explicitly. These controlling images are manifested in every facet of Black women's lives. However, I specifically address how they are used to regulate Black women's sexual agency, i.e., the ability to dictate one's sexual lifestyle for themselves without commendation or uh, condemn, I said it right. Condemnation or interference. Collins, 2005. Black women's sexual agency is important because everyone reserves the right to control their own bodies and act on their personal desires. In contrast, controlling images of Black womanhood and Black male patriarchy reinforce the ideology that Black women are to be controlled, which can lead to interpersonal and domestic violence, erasure of Black women's experiences, which is what T-Duck is doing right now, and voices, and mental and emotional abuse. McGuffrey, 2013. Previous research concerning the effects of misogynoir on Black women's sexual experience have been largely theoretical, although groundbreaking. Blair, 2014. Collins, 2000. Collins, 2005. Collins, 2015. Hooks, 2004, and Macy's, 2015. Simmons, 2001. Research conducting the sexual double standards has been widely published. However, much of the literature neglects to consider the effects that intersecting identities can have on the body of literature, as they mostly focus on white samples. Crawford and Pop, 2003. Gonzalez and Robleson, 2005. This study intends to bridge together the theoretical work of Black feminist scholars with empirical, qualitative, sociological methodology. Although theoretical knowledge is important, being able to create research that assesses the theoretical premise can strengthen the knowledge base and confirm the existence of theorized trends within research based on observation. These three-dimension models of sexual double standards by Felicia Carey and Miller, 2014, I intend to qualitatively examine the effects that misogynoir and Black male patriarchy have on sexual double standards in the perspective and experiences of Black heterosexual millennials via an analysis of in-depth interviews. This study is important, and it gives as it gives voice to the experiences of Black women for Black women by a Black woman researcher using sociological methodology. In the sections that follow, I examine the theoretical background of Black feminist thought, followed by the literature on intersectionality, misogynoir, controlling images of Black womanhood, Black male patriarchy, and and toxic masculinity, and the sexual double standard. I use theoretical background discussed as a premise to study whether or not Black collegiate freshmen are subscribing to tenets of misogynoir, Black male patriarchy, and controlling images in terms of how they define their identity, sexual decisions, and potential partner criteria. In addition, the larger purpose of this study is to intertwine the methodological practice of sociology with the theoretical approaches of Black feminist theory in order to produce knowledge that promotes an inclusive and safe Black community. I conclude the paper by discussing my research design findings and their implications for the existing body of literature. Okay. So we're going to get into the theoretical background, the Black feminist thought. Black feminist thought is an ideology that specifically caters to the plight of Black women with a primary focus on collective liberation and justice. As described by prominent Black feminist theorist Patricia Hill Collins, Black feminist thought serves as a theory that centers the experiences and knowledge of Black women combining both their racial and gender identities. Collins, 2000. Black feminist thought can be used to critically examine social institutions that impact Black women. The Combahee River Collective, an organization founded by Black feminists of varying sexual orientations in 1974, described Black feminism as a necessary because they believed that patriarchy and sexism were just as prevalent in Black women's lives as racism was. In addition, members of the CRC could not separate race and class from their oppression, as white feminists had the privilege of doing so because they often experienced race, class, and gender oppression simultaneously. Using Black feminist thought as a theoretical lens ensures that the marginalized voices of Black women are fully heard and the intersections of their identities are recognized and taken into consideration. This is critical because mainstream feminist thought primarily serves the voices of white women, while Black social and political thought primarily serves the interests of Black men. Within both schools of thought, the experiences and realities of Black women are negated and erased. Collins 2000. In terms of observing the sexual double standard, that's what SDS means. Most scholarship has focused primarily on the majority white participants and therefore contain no acknowledgement of the ways differing cultural ideologies can play a role in observing sexual double standards. Crawford and Pop, 2003. So before we continue, are there any questions, anything that you want to add before we continue? Let me let this other person onto the stream. Who is this? Okay, hello. Welcome to the stream.
A couple of hours later.
This your breakdown, Moonflower. Can I ask what's the title of your breakdown?
What do you mean?
I mean your PowerPoint, what you present, your presentation. Excuse me.
This is not my presentation. This is a study conducted by a Black researcher who conducted her own study. And let me go back to the top and read it to you. I'm on page 12. Oh, I put 8. I meant to put 1. Hey, quote unquote, we don't love these hoes. Exploring misogynoir and Black male patriarchy through sexual double standards by Mariah Elizabeth Weber. So that's the title.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Any other questions before we continue?
Carry on.
Okay. In terms of sociological relevancy, in her article, Learning from the Outsider Within: The Sociological Significance of Black Feminist Thought, Black feminist theorist and sociologist Patricia Hill Collins postulates that sociologists might benefit greatly from serious concentration of the emerging cross-disciplinary literature that is labeled Black feminist thought, precisely because for many Afro-American female intellectuals, I'm trying to pronounce this word, but I got tongue-tied. Marginality has been an excitement to creativity. As outsiders within, Black feminist scholars may be one of the many distinct groups of marginal intellectuals whose standpoints promise to enrich contemporary sociological discourse. Collins, 1986. Collins asserts that utilizing Black feminist thought in sociological research offers a space for Black women to, 1, define themselves for themselves, 2, address the intersections of oppression through the sociological lens, and 3, highlight the importance of Black women's culture when conducting research. Collins, 1986. Using Black feminist thought as a theoretical lens to sociologically explore the effects of misogynoir and Black male patriarchy on the sexual double standards and prospective Black heterosexual relationship patterns will provide an appropriate perspective and center the voices of marginalized Black women. Okay, so before I go into the literature review, if y'all want to have a little discussion, we can right now. Okay, I'm gonna put myself on mute and I'm going to go put me another coal on the stove.
Oh yeah, I think that was powerful with the whole building up a community. See, the thing is, we got what's that Megan's law where you got see all the predators within your communities, and if you got a predator riddled community, you should get up out of there. You shouldn't. We need to stop being comfortable in these places that ain't safe or conducive to the growth of our families. Like that'll be a very powerful move, and I think that's where we need to put our resources. That's something both genders can agree upon. Like, let's get to safe places.
So
Let's
where are
stop
you
thinking.
expecting to move these women to? If there are, like, yes, there is Megan's law, and I think Britain's got their version, which is Sarah's law. Not every child predator or pedophile takes the time out to register where they're supposed to be and update their details and things. So although yes, you have those apps that might share predators in your vicinity or in your location. There are ones that are not registered, as well as T-Duck, you're no fool to see it depends if you're around when Taz and other people are doing the newsreels of the amount of predators
Oh
that
yeah, I
are
gave them that
employed.
idea. What what's
You
going
see
on
school
around you.
teachers, you see counselors, you see instructors, you see people in the community. So what you're saying in terms of Megan's law doesn't work to the extent, because half of do you not see the statistics when it says about the fact that a lot of abusers don't get caught until after potentially the 7th time that they've abused or attacked a child?
I'm not talking about the ones you can't see. I'm talking about the ones you can see. And if you're in a neighborhood that's riddled with them, I suggest you figure out a way to get up out of there. We all know where good communities are, is where, there's no real crime. You could look that up. You could look at the statistics and see where there's no real crime. That's where you need to relocate to. That's where you need to get to. That's where you strive for. There shouldn't be nothing more important in life than your well-being and your health. So, like, if you're going to strive for something, why not strive for that?
So what does the collective have the money to be able to move these women from all over the country to different places?
Oh, there are all types of programs, domestic violence, and everything that's ready to help, and they might not be able to receive help. They got to independently come up with the scratches. You can't put the burden off on people and make excuses. If you want better, you got to do better, and it's just as simple as that. But there are outlets that will fund you to some extent and help you. If you really want out of that situation, you're gonna find a way. We can't make excuses saying people don't have the money to do it. So you're gonna subject yourself to treachery just because you feel like you don't have an income? Like, that's not a good enough excuse.
It sounds a bit like you're victim blaming and victim shaming
Oh,
at the same
absolutely
time
not.
as not understanding that there are not enough services provided, and it depends where you live in America, depends on what's accessible.
Well, rather than these brothers protect you, why don't they dig in their pockets and put y'all and establish y'all in these places where y'all would be more safe?
So are you guys willing to stop buying Jordans and PlayStations and all the other materialistic
Oh,
foolishness like the rings and the
I
house
don't do that.
and peacocking in order to fund this
Ma'am, I'm a
charity?
socialist. I don't do none of that capitalistic stuff.
Mm,
I'll buy a $200 pair of shoes, but those shoes will be with me for 3 years.
okay.
So
Mm.
yeah, I'm not I'm not that capitalistic. Like, I'm not into none of that. I'm about the people. So that's probably why. I joke around a lot and everything, but when it's time to become serious and be the revolutionary I'm really that. I really have a spear and shield in my hand. But I joke around and cat off a lot, just so I
Well,
don't bring too much
the
attention to me.
joking off and catting is not it's not necessary around here for this. And you talk about people, but within people, the genders are.
There are no genders. There's only a unit. You know what I'm saying? Even the military doesn't function. They move in units.
Okay,
Everything
but
moves
they
in
still
units.
acknowledge gender, bro.
People as a collective are not the military, and we are not a unit.
I have a unit. You have a unit. We're a unit. All right, whatever. Y'all just want to fight me on everything. I get
Don't
it.
nobody want to fight you, but the military
But I'm
does
listening.
acknowledge
We're
gender.
having a discussion, T-Duck.
I know I'm listening. I'm with y'all. Don't trip. My feelings ain't hurt. But I'm just saying, like, it's things we got to do. Like, why aren't we building up these nonprofits, getting this funding from these motherfucking well-to-do motherfuckers so that we can establish housing and safe environments for our sisters?
So why don't you
Like,
go
how
talk
hard
to
is
your
it for
brothers about it?
4 of us to get together, write a fucking mission statement, and do the necessary paperwork so we can have a
What?
nonprofit?
The four
Find
of
us a
who?
grant
The
writer
four of
and
who?
start
The four of
writing
who?
grants, getting grants from all
The
these
four of
people.
who? The four of who?
All you need is 4 people to have a board of directors for a nonprofit.
Okay, but I'm asking you, saying the four of us. Who is this us?
I mean, black people. That's what I'm
We need to
saying.
go get you 4 black men who want who do that, who want to do that and build the community, because it's black men's job to build in the community. Yet y'all don't do that.
No, your safety is your own personal responsibility if you really want to get to the crux of this issue.
Not really. And I proved that in my last debate against you. And you was like, we're not gonna listen to him because he a white man.
What did
Yeah,
you
and then half the time when I've recommended about setting up non-profit organizations to be able to help with domestic violence and stuff, some of your brethren come back with that's the white man's money. That's the white man's money.
Because
So
they're ignorant and they want to do LLCs so they could subject you to fucking uh what is it? You won't even get a standard of living pay out of them. Like they just want to get rich. See, they double talk, but y'all don't see it for that. Y'all
but
don't see
you're
the forest
also
for the
double
tree.
talking because they're not
How
willing
am I
to
double
do it.
talking?
Because you're showing the reasons, which is fine. I hope everybody takes notice of this. You guys are not willing to go to the white man, but you're not willing to sort it out for yourselves. You're not willing to give up certain things that are materialistic in nature to be able to help the women and the children, especially that are affected by this, but you want to...
So the coat drives we do, the scholarships we do are meaningless. The dinners we do for free,
meaningless.
the presents we give out are meaningless. Got you. See, I live this for real, man. We do stuff for our community. You can't paint me in that. Maybe we don't do it for every community, but my lives we do for our community. We help young black men and women who have an honor roll GPA fund at least up to 5 years of college. Like we do this for multiple students. So you can't say what's not happening.
Listen, I'm not saying that.
And
listen, you're within the... If you are doing that, T-Duck, you're within the minority, not the majority.
And once again, I tell you, I give you these solutions, and then they just not good enough. Start nonprofit. I mean, not you per se, because you in the UK, but start nonprofits. Get you a grant writer. Get you 4 motherfuckers. Get a nice little mission statement and say, we're going to help women get out of these crime congested areas and get them in a safe environment so they can have a productive life. That's your mission statement right there. And then do the filing paperwork, get you a grant writer, and start mailing out things to these fucking companies who would like the tax break, because the more money they give you, the less they're gonna have to pay in taxes at the end of the year. It's just a fucking tax write-off. When I used to work for the like I said, it was a nonprofit, but they still had sales because they did tours when I worked for damn, I forgot the name of it right now, but the Maritime Park Association. They memberships was $1,500 a pop, all tax write-offs for these rich ass motherfuckers. They used to do galas. Man, I used to see so many $1,500 checks come in. It just was like crazy. Like they getting it, and it's just like if you able to do that for your people, like everybody was paid good. I didn't get paid that much because I was only assistant accountant, but at that time, I mean, it was good enough. It's better than what you would get minimum wage, I'll tell you that. But the point being is that you can have payroll, you can make money. Our chief executive officer was making like 100,000 a year. Like this is a nonprofit. Like everybody wanting it. It's like you can make money in a nonprofit, and more importantly, we can be helping our people. Like not only do you help these women get out of their conditions, but you also team up and get a nonprofit that will, build houses. Get these carpenters, these black carpenters, and these, all these people that know how to deal with the structuring of a home. Get these black plumbers that don't nobody want to hire, so they can still get their little hours and build homes. We cut costs there. Now we don't have to look for homes and purchase homes for these people and have them feel safe. Like it's so much we could do, but all we do is fucking sit on our hands or twiddle our thumbs and talk this bullshit of who for and who not. Let action. Let's get active. Let's stop talking about shit and expecting for shit to happen.
Okay.
Like, y'all not really ready for this. That's why I be like just in that little world I be in. Because
Are
when
you done?
motherfucker. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay. Shout out to Taz in the comment section, and now we're going to continue. Okay, so chapter 3, literature review. In the section that follow, I examine the literature regarding intersectionality, misogynoir, controlling images of Black womanhood, Black male patriarchy, and toxic masculinity and sexual double standards. An analysis regarding these themes is critical as context that surround Black women's societal image is important when considering how they are perceived in heterosexual sexual relationship patterns, particularly intraracially. Intersectionality and misogynoir frame the ways in which Black women's oppression move beyond the scope of separate theories of race and gender. Controlling images of Black womanhood encompasses the historical perceptions of Black women in America, beginning with slavery to provide context. Get your ass from over there. To provide context behind the stereotypes attributed to them in present day. Black male patriarchy and toxic masculinity act as the bind for these bodies of research by perpetuating gender roles that reinforce misogynoir, controlling images of Black womanhood, and sexual double standards. The term intersectionality was coined by scholar and activist Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989. However, Black feminists and womanists as early as and probably before Sojourner Truth in her infamous Ain't I a Woman speech in 1851 have been addressing the erasure of Black women's experiences at the hands of Black men, and white women. Sojourner Truth, 1851. Intersectionality in this context can be defined as different ways that race and gender combine and interact in order to shape Black women's exposure and Navigation in Society, Crenshaw, 1993, discussing the history and functionality of intersectionality. Crenshaw states intersectionality is an analytic sensibility, a way of thinking about identity and its relationship to power. Originally articulated on the behalf of Black women, the term brought to light the invisibility of many constituents, within groups that claim them as members but often fail to represent them. Crenshaw, 2015. Intersectionality helps us to understand the distinct ways that society perceives individuals based on their identities. According to Black feminist scholar Patricia Hill Collins, 2015, intersectionality is important as it proposes that race, class, gender, sexuality, age, ability, nation, ethnicity, and other identity characteristics cannot be studied separately, but rather must be observed in combination with one another. This is especially important for Black women who often underwent erasure in movements such as the Black Liberation Movement and the Black Power Movement, Collins, Thomas, and Franklin, 2001. This erasure also occurs in the modern Black Lives Matter movement against the desire of its queer Black women founders. Much of the Black community used the BLM movement as a vehicle to prioritize community response to state-sanctioned murders of Black men such as Freddie Gray, while simultaneously forming defenses for the violence perpetuated against Black women such as Sandra Bland and Corian Gaines, Macy's, 2015. In addition, Black mothers, wives, daughters, and friends of slain Black men are delegitimized, discredited, and marginalized within the media and court system as exhibited in the Trayvon Martin trial through the inappropriate cross-examination of Rachel Genital, the last person to speak with Trayvon before his death. Intersectionality is especially critical when discussing the pathologization. Get your ass out that damn box. Pathologization and criminalization of Black women's sexual and relationship behavior. Blair, 2014. Black women's sexual behavior is regulated by the Black community at a much stricter capacity than Black men's sexual behavior as a result of the intersections of their identity. As women, they are placed on a double bond wherein they are perceived as either promiscuous Jezebels for being too sexually expressive or prudish bitches for not not being sexually explicit enough. Collins 2000, Collins 2005, and Wilkins 2012. So that's 3 separate articles talking about the sexual oppression of Black women by Black men. I draw on intersectionality as a way to understand why taking gender into account when discussing sexual politics of Black women within groups, particularly the Black community, is important. The erasure of the impact of gender on Black women's lived experiences, especially as it applies to sex and relationships, is often left understudied within mainstream academia. So before we move on to 3.2, misogynoir branded for Black women, any questions, any comments, any concerns?
Nah, you got it.
Okay, let me go back to the tab. Because the usage of the term misogyny does not directly speak to the lived experience of Black women, the term misogynoir is more appropriate. Most literature on the term misogynoir is not scholarly by the standards of mainstream academia, but is rather formulated by Black feminists and womanists using their voices through blogging, such as an excerpt by Trudy of the Graduate Layer, a womanist blog, Trudy 2014. Here is the source material. So if you want to go to the website, that's it. Misogynoir is a word used to describe how racism and anti-Blackness alter the experience of misogyny for Black women. Specifically, it alludes to specifically Black women's experiences with gender and how both racism and anti-Blackness alters that experience diametrically from white women, as anti-Blackness and white supremacy make white women the norm in terms of intersectional experiences with gender, even as solely via gender, misogyny harms all women. And differently from non-Black women of color, as though they face racism and dehumanization associated with the anti-Blackness, is more than racism or sexualized objectification alone, but speaks to the history of Black bodies and lives treated as those of non-persons. Trudy 2014. Queer Black feminist Moya Bailey coined the term and described it as the unique ways in which Black women are pathologized in popular culture. What happens to Black women in public spaces isn't about them being a woman of color, Bailey says. It is particular and has to do with the ways that anti-Blackness and misogyny combine to malignify Black women in our world, Bailey 2014. Although misogynoir is a major key in comprehension when thinking about the ways Black women are oppressed through social institutions, the term has been legitimized by few scholars. Although there are few academic references to this term, the necessity of usage isn't negated, Bailey 2013. So there's another article that Ms. Bailey wrote. Marginalized groups often create terminology that specifically reflects the erasure of their experiences in mainstream academic and professional thought. While Black men may experience the harsh effects of racism and white women may experience sexism, Black women experience the combination of both due to the intersections of their identities. I am specifically interested in researching the implications of the term misogynoir, as the definition of the word directly stems from the erasure of intersection of Black women's identity when considering sexism enacted against women. The lack of research and peer-reviewed articles that directly refer to and study misogynoir speaks to the critical need of this research. Using empirical, sociological, methodologically to study whether or not misogynoir exists within the Black community can have implication for further academic research, as misogynoir specifically highlights the intricate ways in which Black women deal with sexism and racism within and outside of their own racial group. Expanding the literature to include terms not necessarily widespread throughout academia serves as a form of recognition for Black feminist theorists unable to gain access to the ivory tower of formal education. This form of research also gives way to the experiences of Black women to be validated while simultaneously serving as a method of resistance towards oppression, following the traditions of Black feminist scholars, both past and present, in standpoint epistemology. Hey, Questions, concerns, comments.
Yeah, it seemed to me like another thing we missing in the hood that might help y'all is charm school.
Charm
Like,
school. What the fuck does charm
yeah,
school have to do with this?
He's talking about femininity coaching and all that, which has been on the rise for how many years, which has existed in how many generations, and women have been taught to code switch throughout, decades. So, what is it that you're getting at, T-Duck?
I think just like we don't have charm schools. I think that's part of the problem. Like,
Maybe you need charm school.
Right, because why?
so I'm a
I'm
woman
saying,
now
how does charm school correlate to this conversation?
because it eradicates certain behaviors. It has people act with nobility
They might act with
and honor.
nobility on the surface, but under the surface, like acting, charm school can still cause predators and other people that you think or would see as normally abusive or weirdos to be these charming people that they're really not.
Yeah, but I'm glad you were able to articulate how it related to what she just said. I appreciate that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let y'all have it. I appreciate y'all for having me up here.
Oh, you done?
Nah, the thing started. We gotta get over there. You know, I gotta get my troll on.
What you talking about, the interview?
Yeah.
It's that the interview started.
Oh, okay. So do we want to go to the interview, and we can come back and do this later?
It's up to you, Maxwell.
Because I can really play the interview on the stream.
I'm cool with that. It's up to you. Listen, it's your stream. Go ahead and do what you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on pause, and I'm gonna play the interview on the stream. Just one, because I don't really like going over there anymore because of how Solar wanted to handle me last time I was over there. So I don't really like going over there. I kind of unsubscribed from the channel. So
Listen, you don't have to explain to anybody the decision that you've made for your comfortability. That is your right. Okay?
thank you. Oh, here we go. We're gonna play this because
That is
I just want to.
self-promoting, but from a safe distance.
Yeah, I just want to see how this interview is gonna go, because even when Tanjan had her interview, you know, they were trying to delve deep into her sex life, and I think it's hilarious how when I was asking Tanjan a question, and I was saying that, you know, I pretty much agree with everything that she was saying, but I was asking her a question, and T Duck had told me, or yeah, I think it was T Duck had told me to shut up or something. I was like, no, the fuck. And
Exactly.
Solar kicked me off the panel, but Nandy went on after I did and was using racial slurs. Not only did she use it in that interview, but she used it in Holly's interview as well.
Listen, I have Sister Nandi, if you see this, I respect you. And you know, I go in for the ladies that are doing their thing. At the same time, the way that I see Solar using her to be able to do certain things, I don't condone.
Right.
And I see the fact that I think it's more to trigger people into certain actions to make it, like T Duck was saying, make it more click worthy, to trigger people's feelings and emotions, to act towards, you know, jumping on those topics because they're hot topics right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, but still, like,
Listen, I'm not saying
she's
I'm not saying
allowing
I
herself
agree
to
with
be
it.
used. She's allowing herself to be used simply because she don't like me. And then she done made like 4 videos about me. I just ain't saying nothing about it.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That, excuse you for being popular.
Right, like damn.
There's a collective. I suppose there is still what's the word I'm looking for, from a collective mindset that Nandi agrees with. But also they need to understand and respect that there's other people that are not, that don't agree with it, and that's okay as well. We don't have to carry the burdens anymore if we don't want to. I'm sick of it being pushed on Black women that we must carry this burden, we must carry this, we must carry, to push the collective to certain heights, when the same requirement is not of the Black men within the collective. And we're seeing it through the statistics and the different things that are going on. So I'm not willing to condone certain types of behavior.
Y'all better stop that damn fighting. But yeah, I'm listening to you now. They just they about to hurt each other. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. So we need to get his act together, honestly.
It would be great if we could all get along, but I know that's not realistic.
Right. And then when people try to address certain issues with solar, and one thing I found very hilarious was he was talking to who was it? Blue? No, yeah, he was talking to Blue and saying that Blue was elitist and all this other stuff because he don't want to like debate with certain people. Mm-hmm. But when he came on here telling Blue that he was elitist, he turned around in the same breath and was like, "Anon, but I was the one who gave you a trophy, though. I'm the one that let you come back, though."
I just think it's comical sometimes how when it comes to, areas of work and life and certain parts of relationships and business and pushing the culture forward, it's conducive to have people like Anon and people that are of good character around. If he wasn't bringing something to the table, would you want him around?
Right.
So
and I hate that Anon quit though. Like, I mean, I understand why, but I hate that he did it.
Yeah.
Anon, if you're watching my stream, I need you to come back.
I'm taking it right now. I'm just gonna, because I've been around a little hot second, and Anon has disappeared for a while and had his hibernation, and then he's coming back. So I'm hoping it's one of those. So I'm not gonna pressure him. I'm just gonna leave him to do what he does, and we'll see what happens. But I can understand on the other side why he pulls away from situations like this. It's like the atmosphere of certain people and their behaviors, and the fact that those behaviors are really the majority, not the minority. It clouds people's judgments on how things should go moving forward. But I get the fact that, as a collective, we all have our individual voices, but I think at some point we're going to have to, well, it would be good to get to an agreement of truces in certain areas and not going after people for certain areas of their lives.
Yeah. Because as soon as she said that she dated one Korean guy or Asian guy, yeah, he was Korean. It just became about that relationship. Like, they're no longer together, bro. Does it matter?
Yeah, congratulations, Holly, on entering the the league and stuff like that. And she's a married woman. She's got a family. It's like, if people will try to pick apart anything that gives them a reason to be able to exploit it, and I don't always think that's a good thing. Like in my conversation the other day with you guys, it wasn't to exploit it. It was to use it as an example from a different perspective.
Yeah.
That person might be able to see through that lens, and then it just got all out of control.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like they looking through the lens of a kaleidoscope. Because they get so confused. They're not seeing the true picture.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, that comprehension within our collective is a massive issue.
Yes, it is. Before I start this video of the interview, I just wanted to read off something that Nyla posted. It says, Black men seem to think that feminine boys are the fault of their mothers. No, it's evolution. I'll explain more later, but let me leave you with this. If you come from a group of men that have always assumed the feminine role in society, what do you expect their offspring to do? Time for tomorrow's live stream to be announced. And I feel like she really dropped the gem. Like,
It's like everybody always goes on about who's in the home, but what about the presence and the energy that's not in the home?
Facts. And y'all say that women can't raise men. Okay, well, why don't you make these men stay in the home and raise their kids?
And
Like,
this is the thing. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what's best for their children. They want to do what they want to do. And that doesn't suit the collective of women, because we've seen for how many generations what it looks like. The evidence is there for the last how many years. But they continue. Some continue. Some are starting to see. But there needs to be a bigger push in terms of understanding from the other side of the collective why we've got to this point, and not just belief.
Yep. Don't go in that closet messing with him, because he went in that closet to get away from you. Leave him the fuck alone. Because the cat that ran in the closet to hide from Coy, and now she walking up to the closet door trying to see what the fuck he doing. Then you just hit him in the face.
Playtime.
Man, just hit him in the face and growled at him, but now you want to see what he doing in the closet. But okay, so let me fast forward all the way to where they are and start it.
Let's go back to the mental toughness is the 81. The research is a 98. The preparation will be the 97. Intellect 99. 91 will be the charisma, and the.
So whose interview is this?
Just me.
Okay.
Her. She was on the panel before.
Okay, so why do you think it's debating religion?
For me, I don't have to deal for it. It's not my cup of tea. So that's all I have to say about it.
Why isn't it your cup of tea?
Because I prefer other drinks.
Like what?
You know what? I prefer bubble tea. So it's not the same. It's simply not the same.
Well, in terms of the topic of what we're talking about, what are your other drinks that you prefer?
Okay. Now, of course, I'm still going to be talking about like the Black community to some extent. But
so what issues do you have with the Black community?
Well, okay, so I have 10 on this paper. And actually, they're not really
Can you read them for me?
Yeah. I'm going to say they're not all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So I came up with these with my friend. Yeah. So it's going to be, okay, let's see. Should Black people embrace all wig styles and makeup styles? And I can explain these later if I have to.
Should Black people embrace all wig styles and
makeup styles? And I know it sounds crazy, but I'll explain that later.
Okay. Go ahead.
But let's see. Is it anti-Black to date out? I did get that from Elder Yara. So I just wanted
anti-Black to date out.
Yes.
Okay. What else do you have?
Let's see. When is it okay to code switch? My friend wrote that one, and I thought that one was pretty good. Let's see. Should Black people embrace Afrofuturism or continue to emulate African culture? Should we teach our kids nursery rhymes or create new nursery rhymes? Does the Black Panther movie show Black women as feminine? Do Black people have the credibility to enforce femininity or masculinity? Do people use terms to discriminate against themselves? I'm sorry, do Black people use terms to discriminate against themselves? Do other races of men really care about their women? I skipped one. Let's see. Oh, should Black people take jobs that cater to rich white people?
That's a good one.
Okay, so why do you think that? Do you think that Black people should wear wigs and makeup?
Well, this is kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like a girl question. Mm-hmm. because I have noticed that if you don't wear your hair a certain way, and if you don't wear makeup a certain way, you get treated a different way completely because of it. So that's why I voiced this question in the first place, because you can find other Black women talking about it, like if you just don't look a certain way. And it's not by Black men treating you a different way. It's the Black women that are treating you a different way. So that's why I wanted to put that one in.
Okay, so you think that Black women should wear hair that's not their natural hair?
I mean, I feel like Black women should be able to do what they want with their hair.
Even to their own detriment?
To their own detriment, how?
Because when you put a lot of the weaves, you're putting glue and all types of things in your hair that's not healthy for your hair.
Okay, so true to that aspect, but there are wigs that you don't have to put glue in.
Okay, so pushing the stuff that fucks your head up aside for a second, why would you want to wear another hair that is not your natural hair?
Well, okay, for me, because I'm in a deep South, it's not really me wanting to wear other people's hair, but I will say it this way. In the South, if you come to an interview with like twists and all that stuff, 9 times out of 10, you won't get hired. And they'll let you know that during the interview.
So you're acquiescing to a system that is telling you to wear your hair unnatural.
Not really.
That's exactly what you just said.
Okay. I'm about to say that. I mean, that wasn't the point. Like, I guess in regards to.
Well, that was my point actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed your point then.
Okay, so you just said that the reason why you wear the hair the way you wear it, is that because you live in the deep South, and it would be hard for you to get a job because of those things. So that I responded by saying, well, you're acquiescing to a system that don't accept you for your natural hair.
Well,
then on top of that, not all Black women live in the deep South, so I don't know why you personalized it. I thought the topic was why do Black women. So
well, you did. I thought you could have. Didn't you just ask me why I do it though?
No, when I was speaking in the context of the topic. So when I say you, I mean you came up with the topic, but I was obviously it's not just talking about you. I hope it's talking about all Black people, right? All Black women, right?
Okay, well, I guess it's just like Black women have different reasons for the styles that they wear and how they wear their hair.
Okay, so yeah, because not all Black women live in the deep South, and not all places in the deep South is not going to hire you because of your hair.
I mean, if you come to where
I am,
it sounds to
me like she wants to be. She doesn't like her own hair, so she wears the weave. That's what it said. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't actually get to finish the rest of the part before you cut me off, but
go ahead. Go ahead, break it down.
Okay, so that's the first part. Mm-hmm. Second part's gonna be, because I actually have a fro under my wigs. I don't see a point in damaging my hair for a style that I can just buy, and it's just like my wigs are actually pretty cheap, so I just go that way.
So you'd rather wear a cheap wig than your own natural hair. Great.
Oh, first off, a wig ain't cheap.
What do you credit that to?
I think he doesn't understand about what the Halo Act is and the Crown Act and the hair discrimination that Black women deal with, and not just Black women, Black men as well. There's only so many states that have signed up to the Crown Act.
Mm-hmm.
And people are trying to reinforce it, as well as the Halo Act that's here in the UK. Lord Jesus. Carry on.
Yeah, and it's like we're being discriminated against for our hair. I mean, like, even when I wear my fro in interviews and stuff, I know that there's a chance that they might not hire me simply because of the fact that I look too quote unquote Black, or I'm not fitting in their standards. But I like to wear my fro. I wear weaves and shit because I like to color my hair, and I don't want to damage my natural hair by coloring it too much. So if I want to go pink, I'm gonna go get me a wig and dye that bitch pink. If I want to go blonde, I'm gonna dye my wig blonde. And then it's also a protective style, especially in the wintertime, because natural hair, thick hair, coarse hair is fragile, especially in the wintertime. It takes out your moisture and stuff, and it causes breakage.
Yeah, I mean, we've got so many different textures within our culture. And like you said, weather, climate, access to products. People don't realize the amount of products that we end up buying, even within natural hair. Even if you're just a natural hair wearer, and the upkeep and the products and the amount that it costs, it might be a bit cheaper in the US because we get a lot of, I don't know, we get a lot of our products that are shipped over from your side. But the importation and the exportation costs, and by the time they get here, they cost so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen kids go through, hair discrimination at school
Yep.
in various forms, and it wasn't even locks. It might have been cornrows. I remember down to my brother being excluded for having a night tick in the back of his head, and that was like more than 25 years ago. My daughter, when she first had her locks in her hair, and numerous other people within different walks of life, whether it's work, school, college, that have been discriminated against because of their hair.
Yep. Like if we want to make it to where black men can relate, that one black boy who was wrestling and the ref had him cut his dreads off in the middle of the match and said that if he has his dreads, he can't continue.
Yeah, there was a fight. I think it was just before the pandemic of a young man, and him and his mom had gone into the school. They asked about the school code when it came to hair and everything was fine. Nobody had an issue. And then when he started, that's when the issues popped up, and they tried to
Yep.
exclude him. We had to do a whole petition. We had to embarrass them on national TV in order to get them to change their mind about a policy that wasn't even there.
Yep. And then it was one little black boy in America, and he had like some long hair. It wasn't like too long, but he had some nice long hair. It was always neat and done, but they was like long hair is only for girls, so if he gonna wear long hair, he gotta wear a dress.
It's just ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous telling women what to do with the hair that comes out of their head. And
Right.
then on top of it, I think it's even more ridiculous to control. It's another form of control, of controlling what women look like, how they present themselves. It's like we're being discriminated against at every level when it comes to our hair. And even when it is presentable and looks neat, locked down in a certain style or twisted, it's still not enough for them wanting to be able to, the whole don't touch my hair and wanting to pet us like we're animals and the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
and it's
and
crazy
then,
how black men were pushing perms and shit, but that was damaging our hair so much.
exactly, as well as hot combs and things like that. I mean, how many generations of women have gone through having their hair damaged because of the old versions of hot combs? And then in order to keep up and have, certain dress codes that they have here in tourism or working in restaurants where you have to have your hair slicked back and looking a certain way and a certain type of presentation. I've watched generations of young girls go through their hair being damaged because of perms and things like that. So, as far as I'm concerned, her body, her choice, what she does with it. And why shouldn't we be able to explore colors and other things?
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Oh, shit. But yep, I mean, hair goes. It is not just a female issue; it's also a male issue. But men refuse to see that, and I mean, they say they want a girl with natural hair and stuff, but they discriminate against natural hair within our own community. 4C hair is not seen as beautiful. They call you nappy headed, they call you bald headed, but really it's just shrinkage. But unless you got natural hair down your back into your ass, that's the only natural hair that they accept, or that real loose 3A, 3C texture.
Yeah, it's like there's how many women that, you're talking about the shrinkage, but then you've seen the challenge, you've probably seen the challenges where they straighten out the shrinkage and it's going all the way down their backs
Yep.
and wanting to talk about no edges, but you're not always looking at the health or dietary requirements or the implications of why that woman may not have no edges. What's the climate or where that person's living or dealing with that might be contributing to what's going on in their hair. And I think it's it's hypocrisy, especially now with guys getting beard implants,
Yep.
getting hair implants, getting fake transplanted wigs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one rule for you and another for us. Is this how it's going to continue?
Right,
You
and
know?
I remember man weaves came out when I was in like high school. Yeah, we still having this conversation about women wearing weaves. However, some of y'all favorite rappers got these wigs in. Some of y'all favorite DJs be putting in them man weaves, but y'all don't say nothing to them though.
Exactly.
Saving my hair.
Okay,
I'm not gonna bleach my hair some random color and then change it to a texture that it's never going to be. It never was.
You said that you wear cheap wigs. I didn't say that you wear cheap wigs.
I'm okay with my cheap wigs, but I'm not going to sit there and then just take my hair that is its natural texture and then burn the crap out of it.
How about
just
you just
to do
don't
a
do
style
none of
that I can buy? How about I just do what I want?
Okay, so the reason why is the reason why you want to do that?
Because I can.
Right.
At least I thought I could.
Yeah, you can. You can do what the hell you want to do. I mean, if you want to wear cheap wigs, wear cheap wigs. I mean,
wigs are
and I'm
cheap.
fine with that because I mean, here's my thing. So, because you keep saying cheap wigs, and which I said
you
first.
you said cheap wigs.
I just said that I said it first. Don't do that. But see,
you said cheap wigs, so that's what I'm saying.
I did.
Okay.
I did. So here's the thing about my cheap wigs. Whether it's $1,000, $100, or $30, whatever the heck I want to pay, it will still never be my hair. So I do not see the point in spending $500+ for hair that will never be mine.
Facts, sis.
So that's just my stance on that.
Okay, but you're not really being totally clear as to why you want to put cheap wigs on.
She did though. She said
because I like to change my look.
Why?
Because I can.
Okay.
I mean,
we're still running into that wall.
Here. Because when you go out, do you constantly wear the same thing, or do you sometimes like to put on the suit?
Well, I could change my actual clothes depending on the occasion.
All right, it's the same thing.
I never change my natural hair though.
I change my hair depending on the occasion.
But he ain't got no hair to change.
Like.
Okay. I mean, you don't like your natural hair. Ooh.
I didn't say that.
So
otherwise, I wouldn't have a
hair
fro.
on top of it.
Once again, this goes back to
why
would I burn my hair?
That is only appropriate in certain settings, and why, when you know that it destroys your hair, that you would do it. So it's almost like the weaves destroy your hair. You're willing to,
but they don't though if you do it correctly.
Because for whatever reason, you're not really being clear as to why you do that. You're saying that you do it because you want to do it. We know that you want to do it, obviously, but why do you want to do it? Is what the question is. And you never really want to be fully transparent and explain to us why do you want to do that.
I don't know how to be any more transparent than what I'm doing.
You're not.
Right
I mean, of course you're doing it because you want to do it and you have the liberty to do it. But why do you want to do it? You're not really answering that question.
I mean, it's like when I want to wear a dress, and then when I want to wear.
It's not similar to wearing a dress. You want to change the natural texture of your hair. You want to change the natural color of your hair.
Then I would have dyed it and put it in a perm.
That's totally different.
I mean, I actually
would have changed
that. You can change that.
I'm saying I can't see how you're making an equation to like you putting on a dress at a wedding or, having casual dress going to the movies to you want to have hair like a goddamn white woman.
Ooh.
I mean, it's kind of funny because I know you said white women, but most of the...
And it's funny how they always say that, but ain't nobody going to the beauty supply store and buying 36-inch bundles of Caucasian hair.
If there are any women out there doing it, I don't know where those guys are looking. My godfather's a hairdresser, and he's been a hairdresser for like 60+ years. And it's like, even in terms of the historical context of the fact that tribes in Africa and in different countries, whether you're indigenous, whether you're Native American, have worn different types of protective hairstyles and designs and dyes and hennas in their use for centuries. Like right now, white women are copying us. They're buying 4C wigs. They're
Mhm.
copying the culture. They're buying Peruvian. They're buying this, that, and the other. People are
Mhm.
going on like white women don't have, or haven't had clip-ins and wigs for years. Half of them don't even want to do their hair themselves. So it's
Thank you.
like, so it's good enough for them, but we're not allowed to explore ourselves, explore the hair that's on our heads.
Right, and then these extensions originated in Africa.
Hmm.
They do this in Africa. Yet I don't see them saying that they hate their natural hair texture, because if I'm going to the links to protect my natural hair texture, that obviously means I love it. Period. If I don't want to dye my natural hair because I know it will cause damage, but I'll dye a wig, that means I want to protect my natural hair. I enjoy my natural hair and I would like it to stay healthy and long and retain most of my natural hair. Like they always want to say, oh, that just means you hate yourself. And no, not really. Not really. That just means I wanted to be a redhead today, or I wanted to have green hair today. That's all that means.
I think for hair, for so many women, means in different cultures means so many different things. Some it's tied to spirituality, some it's an accessory. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, and there's
Um,
certain tribes in Africa where the type of hair extensions you have symbolize your status in society.
exactly.
The wigs actually model after Asian women, if we have to say that, because long, straight, and dark is usually a Asian thing or minority thing, not really white women.
I'm glad for that, lesson, but it's not your damn hair. That's the point.
I never thought it was. I didn't
Okay,
claim it
so
was my hair.
So now she's bought it.
What you say, Queen?
I said it's hers now. She's bought it. She's bought and paid for it. Whether you buy it, whether you have it natural, whether you have whatever you have, at the end of the day, it's yours. Do you get what I'm saying? I know some people may not comprehend what I'm trying to say. Whether you buy it in weave format, clipping format, whether you dye it, whether you invest in it by buying aloe vera and shea butter, because those things still cost money. It's
Hell
your
yeah.
investment in yourself. Stop allowing men to validate what you look like, what you dress like, how you walk, how you talk, and what you wear.
Yes, facts, facts. They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't even. Why are men discussing the beauty habits of women anyway? Why are y'all discussing hair and makeup? Y'all must want to wear it. Y'all must want to be us, because that's what down low men do. Men who want to be openly and live in their truth, that's what they do. A real man don't care. Every time I didn't talk to a non-black man, ain't none of them care how I wore my hair, whether it was natural, in a wig, box braids, whatever it was. They didn't care, and they'd be like, "Okay, your hair look nice. I see you switched it up. Oh, you got a new style. Okay, they look cute." But real men don't get into those type of conversations.
True. The real men that I've dated and been in relationships with that are of a certain caliber did not care what my hair looked like. And I've had locks for going on, gosh, since the mid early 2000s. I think I tried it like, this is like third time's a charm. But the men that I was in a serious relationship, I went through being a hair model and all sorts of things and going through all sorts of, with my godfather doing the whole hair, being a hairdresser, they had the hair conventions and stuff like that, and I style for him and model, and he'd take pictures and all those kind of things. And then after a certain point, I decided wanted to go on my own hair journey for myself. I wanted to learn about locks and have that experience for myself, but it was my decision. Do you get what I mean? And even
Yeah.
now, my locks are down to my ass. On occasion, I'll bust a wig. There's a couple of wigs around here. I might shove one on if I want to. It's my body, my choice about what I do with my hair, and any other woman's. Whether I think it looks good on her or not, or suits her personality or not, that's her investment in herself, and I respect it.
Thank you. Facts. Facts. I don't know. I don't understand why I don't know. I don't understand why they always want to get into this hair and makeup conversation.
It's weird.
Like, we're not buying it for you. Like, damn, I wear my makeup because I know I got little scars on my face, and sometimes I want to cover it up. But without my makeup, I'm still cute. Sometimes I want my eyelids to be pink. Your eyelids don't naturally come pink. Sometimes I want glitter on my face.
It's like their idea of what femininity looks like is from a white woman's paradigm, and the beauty standards of Eurocentric features and hair textures and all that is so incorporated into our culture. It's unreal. When
Yep.
if they really look, we've got our own beauty standards, and we're redefining and recreating them, and we're allowed to do that. You guys need to let go of the control that you want and that what it looks like, because a lot of them are looking at us through the lens of what it is to be their missus, the reflection of them, the trophy that they want that looks a certain way on their arm, which deep down a lot of the times is a lie. Just let us be ourselves in whatever form that comes. You're expecting us to deal with hair transplants and wigs and all the other stuff, but you don't give the same gratuity on the other side. It's bizarre to me.
Okay. Anthony said he was in the back chat, but I just checked and I don't see him back here. So, Anthony, if you want to join the stream, go ahead and come back. When you come back, put a comment in the comment section, because I got this this YouTube up and I got it on full screen, so I'm not gonna see you in the back chat. But I have on my phone this stream. I don't have Solar Stream up on my phone. I got this stream on my phone. So when you come back to the back chat, put a comment in the comment section, and I'll let you on.
Why do you want to put a other nationalities texture of hair on your head?
I mean, it kind of sounds like you're thinking too much about it. Sometimes
It's
I just
not
want to
thinking
have
too much
pink
about
hair.
it. You thought too much about it because you sat down and you wrote that as a topic. I wasn't thinking nothing about it until you brought it up.
But it wasn't. I didn't go this way with it.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you. If you have that as a topic, then you should be able to properly articulate why you.
What Solar is saying here basically is, because you brought up the topic, this is how we gonna talk about it, not how you want to talk about it, but we gonna talk about it how us as Black men want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You put another nationality woman's hair on your head.
I don't know, because you keep saying it as if it's an insecurity thing or something.
I never said nothing about insecurity.
I mean, you keep.
Oh, but he did though. Did he not just say, "Well, you just hate your natural hair"? Isn't that not an insecurity?
So it comes across as
implying it. I didn't say.
I didn't imply. How did I imply that it was an insecurity?
Why do you keep putting another woman's hair on your head?
That's what it is. This is the problem. No. This is not the problem with people. This is the problem with people. You're doing something that's a fact. That's a fact. You just
doesn't bother me.
You just said to me that you put an Asian woman's hair on your head. So I say, well, why do you put an Asian woman's hair on your head? Oh, so you're implying that it's an insecurity. You just told me that you put You just told me that you put an Asian woman's hair on your head. So how me responding saying, well, why do you do that? Oh, you're trying to say that it's an insecurity. No, I just asked you why you're doing what you do. It's a fact
I said that and you wouldn't take it.
It's a fact that you put an Asian woman's hair on your head. So me asking why do you do that is not implying anything. I just want to know why you do it.
When I gave my answer, it was not good enough for you. What do you want from me?
You just said, because I want to. We know that you want to do that.
But that's the answer.
No.
What else do you want
but why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do that?
Because it's fun. I like to change my hair. Sometimes I want to be blue. Sometimes I want to be purple.
Why?
Sometimes I want to be a whole rainbow. Because I can be.
Huh? Why? Why? Is the reason why?
Because I want to. I don't know what other reason.
Because you want to. We know that you want to because you got the damn Asian woman's hair on your head.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you want to do that?
I just like a different look.
Why?
That's it. That's it.
Why do you? No, I mean, a different look could be you taking your African hair and designing it how you want it. It's African ways to look. Why did you choose the Asian woman? Why did you choose the Asian woman? It's a reason why you chose the Asian woman.
No, not really.
No, not really. You just say, okay, well, let me just grab this, and it just so happened to be Asian women.
I mean,
Mr. Christopher's in the back. Mr. Harris is in the back.
Okay. He would get in the back as soon as I stop looking at the chat. Okay, Christopher. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What's the problem? Is there a problem with something I said in the chat?
I asked you what was your problem.
I'm speaking to Joseph Israel.
Okay, but why are you talking to him like that? And who are you even? Who even are you?
Champion in the league.
Okay, just because you're a champion in the league do not give you grounds to talk to folks all types of ways.
I didn't speak to him any type of way.
But you did, though.
No, I didn't. He insulted me.
You were getting smart.
I didn't get smart. He asked to debate me, and I said, no, thank you.
Okay.
I mean, you said...
What's up?
I mean, like I said, you were saying something to me in the chat, and I'm responding to it. I'm actually speaking to Joseph Israel.
The only thing I said something to you, only thing I said to you was, who are you even? That's
right. Right. You just accused me of being smart with somebody in the chat.
Okay, but my only question was, who are you?
I just explained to you who I was.
Okay, well, that's all you had to say. The fuck?
Okay, I don't really find you as being ladylike right now.
I don't give a damn what you find ladylike. You must want to be a damn lady. The fuck?
Yes, wrong road.
Thank you. You came to the wrong damn pound of talking about some motherfucking ladylike. Take your real feminine ass on somewhere. The fuck?
No, I'm feminine, but you're the one acting like a dude.
You're the one acting like a bitch.
Because you can't have a scholastic.
You acting like a damn bitch. And you can sit in timeout in the back. The fuck?
To be honest, I didn't see what was going on in the chat. If it's directing something at somebody, could you just at that person so that we know that it's directed towards somebody else? Otherwise, it can be perceived in a different...
him and Joseph is first what he commented was something like, no, he said, what? So I asked him if he had a question. And he said, nah, on second thought, I wouldn't even waste my time. That's why I asked, do you got a problem? And who are you even to be talking about wasting your fucking time? And then him and Joseph Israel start going back and forth or whatever. And so once he stopped responding to Joseph, because at first he invited Joseph to come over to his panel and he'll start a stream so they could talk. But then he backed out of it and was like, nah, never mind. He stopped commenting. And so me and Joseph start talking. And he was like, I don't have no problem, with teaching him how to walk. And he said the nigga went from challenging me to waving the white flag. And I said, yeah, I saw. That just mean he got pussy in his blood. But yeah, he gonna come up here on this panel and try to tell me something about me. Tell me that I'm not being ladylike. Okay, but you acting like a whole bitch.
Dear Jesus.
Give me strength. That's why he's asking timeout right now.
India or something like that.
Okay. So you don't want to be clear as to why. What was another topic that you brought up?
Next time I look.
What was the other topic that you brought up? What was the second topic?
The second one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. I said, is it anti-Black to date out?
Okay, so what is your stance on that?
I don't think it's anti-Black to date out.
Okay, so why do you believe that it's not anti-Black?
Because I feel like anti-Black is going to be, I feel like anti-Black is kind of just like hateful, period. As in, I feel like I need to go to another race, but I just hate seeing Black couples and all that. So I feel like that's anti-Black. Like, if there's a woman that I meet and she likes Black men, it bothers me that she likes Black men. I feel like that's anti-Black. rather than just dating out and then just doing your own stuff. It's just dating out and doing your own stuff.
So you're saying dating out, you don't consider to be anti-black?
No.
Is it pro-black?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have an issue with that. So what was the next one that you had?
Let's see. I said, when is it okay to code switch? Or more so, my friend wrote that one.
Now, when we say code switch, what do you mean?
Code switch is I've seen all minorities do this. Code switch is when you notice that mostly white people, I've seen it with white people, or any other race comes into the room that you admire, and you start trying to act like them just to cater to them, or to get validation from them. That's usually code switching.
Okay, so are you an advocate of that?
No. Actually, no.
You're against code switching?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
I just feel like at the end of the day, it's fake. It's fake, and it's something that I feel like people with low self-esteem do. Now, I know in some situations, it can get to the point where it's like code switching can save your life. Those are like the only exceptions. But besides then, no. Like, I don't see a reason.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that. What's the next one?
Are you looking for a problem?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying I don't have a problem with that.
Let's see. Okay, I said this one because it was, should we teach our kids nursery rhymes like the nursery rhymes of today, or should we create new nursery rhymes?
Next.
Okay.
I feel like we should create new nursery rhymes because most of these nursery rhymes are built off of racism or like murder. Like a lot of these nursery rhymes is like death.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. What she was saying before in regards to code switching, I have mixed feelings about it because I do understand with some people it can come from a place of insecurity. But then I think cultural standards and where you live and different reasons need to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, I don't think you
I
should
mean?
code switch for like a relationship, but you should code switch for work.
Yeah, I mean, I was brought up code switching, so it's like it's not something that I ever wanted. Do you get what I mean? It was something that was ingrained into me by the older generation that I needed to assimilate, that I needed, that patois wasn't British, that it wasn't white enough, that I wouldn't pass in certain circles. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that wasn't on me. That was on my grandparents and my elders that taught that to me. It just happens that now that when I'm in certain circles, it happens. It's not something I really control. It's more so based off emotion. You see more so the Jamaican side of me come out when I'm passionate about something or expressive about certain things. But everybody's different. I think that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. And then when we have the conversation about code switching, and like there have been studies showing that Black men code switch when they're in interracial relationships to continue to be with the white woman. However, when Black women date outside the race, they don't code switch because the white man accepts them for who they are. And I think that's a good differentiation that we should discuss.
Oh, definitely, because I've seen that a lot with the interracial relationships here when you're at school dealing with certain parents and then when you're in the home with them. So the double standards continue.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna start it back.
Carry on.
Black Panther movies show Black women as feminine.
And you're saying?
To me, yes.
Okay. Next.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting judged.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Do Black people have the credibility to enforce femininity or masculinity?
Now, do Black women have the what?
I'm sorry, did I say black women? I meant black people. My bad. Both sides.
Do black people what?
Have the credibility.
Their credibility to what?
To basically tell other people what is feminine and what is masculine.
The ability to tell what is feminine and masculine.
As in, like,
set the standard, you're saying?
Yes, basically.
What are you saying? What is your position?
To me, I say no, because I don't think we really, as black people, I don't think we really actually established gender roles for real. Like, we didn't have a lot of time with that. Like, in the States, at the very least. Not talking about Africa and all that.
Why do you believe that's the case? I think that the black man and the black woman set the standard of what is masculine and feminine.
I mean, okay. I guess in regards to what I've seen on YouTube recently, it doesn't seem like it goes by that. It seems like they pull from, as in,
what is sexy in America?
So what is sexy?
Yeah. When you think of sexy, what do you think of?
An outrageous bar.
But before she give her answer, I want to know what your answer would be, Queen.
An outrageous bar. Sorry. I'd have to get some more definition. Sexy applying to what regard of life? Are we talking about sexiness of an ice cream or a piece of food? Are we talking about sexiness of climate, of men, of...
I think what we're talking about is sexiness of people in like a physical way. That's what I'm getting from it. And you know, he's not asking her personally, just in America. And I feel like Americans, or really worldwide, you know, sexiness is perceived as a society as, you know, light, bright, and passing for white. Thin, but with an ass.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it now, because if we look at how many years ago when Marilyn was around and the definitions and standards that were upheld then, and then the whole BMI index coming in because of the depression, because of things that were going on with children, as well as if we move now forward into the 2000s, when you look at well, even back then with Marilyn Monroe, you had Cicely Tyson, you had Dorothy Dandridge, you had Lena Horne, you had so many beautiful women. And then moving forward into the 2000s and stuff, the late 90s, you had all the video vixens. So the standard keeps changing and shifting with the undercurrent of men. Men might not agree with that, but that's the representations that you push forward and push into the media, or that are able to become mainstream to a certain extent. And then when you look at people like Kylie Jenner and is it Tyga, her partner, that basically turned around and said to her, you know, model yourself on a black woman, get certain things done, and you will be able to propel yourself forward. And we've seen that with Kim, and we've seen that with Chloe and other women that take up, you know, the attributes of looking like a black woman, but are not black women and are embraced by the community.
Right. And I think it's so hypocritical with the standards that they hold for black women versus the standards they hold for white women, because these black men get successful and they wife up the white hoes of the industry. Kim Kardashian being one. Her sex tape leaked, which Chris leaked. Her mother leaked the sex tape, and she was propelled into stardom. And she got to marry Kanye West, even though, you know, he don't fuck with these hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's an ironic joke that I have to laugh at sometimes when it comes to like when Gold Digger comes on the